Yeah, okay, so the proposed plan is to have 4-room unit with teaching facilities and that would be JAG compliant in terms of patient journey and scope journey.
Right.
So if we were to follow the route through, patients would come through the entrance and would come up to reception where they would book in. There's quite a big admin area to process the bookings, and then patients would come through and sit in the waiting area. They could sit with relatives and they would have access to a loo, but we would have key locks from our cards which would prevent access of public and non-clinical staff through into the clinical area. Relatives would be encouraged basically to go then and wait to come back and pick them up later. Patients would wait here. There's an admission room which for admission with the nurses. If they're a gastroscopy, for example, and they're going to remain closed, they could then go back and wait in the waiting room. If they were going to have a colonoscopy or a flexible sigmoidoscopy, then from the admission room they would come into one of 4 separate prep rooms, all of which are en suite, so that if you need to do flexi-sig preps and the like, you've got your facilities on hand. From there they can wait in a dedicated and separate male or female waiting area, so again maintaining privacy and dignity in the pre-procedure phase. When ready for the procedure, the patient will be escorted down into one of 4 endoscopy rooms. The endoscopy rooms are JAG compliant in terms of size, and by the configuration that we've achieved, will have hatches for the scopes. And I'll come back to the scope journey again in a sec. The patient journey following endoscopy, they come through, if they've had sedation, into separate recovery areas. So you got separate male and female with 7 beds in each. We're working on needing 2 to 3 beds for each of the endoscopy rooms, and then each of those has got toilet facilities. The staff nurse space basically straddles the separation between the 2 areas. So although the areas are separate in terms of maintaining privacy and dignity, the staff can supervise both areas from the same spot, so it reduces duplication of nurse and supervision. From there, they can then, once dressed, can move through into recovery 2, or alternatively could actually go straight into recovery 2 if they're going to recover on a recliner. At this point they would be dressed, so this is mixed sex, and it's the opportunity for sort of beverage bay. Again, these have got male and female toilet facilities as well. The final part of the patient journey is the discharge process, and from the second stage recovery we have 2 discharge rooms through which patients pass. Having 2 means that we don't have any bottlenecks in the service, so if we're needing to break bad news, then it's not going to be a problem in terms of throughput for other patients. Patients are then escorted down and out, having not crossed the pathway that they came in. So we've got clear pre and post procedure separation. If a patient needs to make a further appointment, then they can be escorted along back to reception where they can make the appointment, if necessary meet a relative that's waiting and depart the area as such. So that's patient journey. Scope journey is quite easy. With the scope journey, what we've got is the 4 endoscopy rooms, each of which have a hatch for the dirty scope to pass into the dirty area. The dirty area and the clean area, as we've just seen, has got lots of natural light because these people are going to be working there for shifts at a time. There's essentially an airlock with a change and pass-through area from clean to dirty, so we can keep our staff separate, but we have the facility to rotate between the 2. There's obviously an office and a change facility within that area as well, and we'll have pass-through machines. When the machines pass through, we have space for either drying cabinets, or if we go to a vacuum packed scope system, which actually requires much less space as it happens. So this is a little bit flexible in terms of its area. Another important element of the proposal is training. So with that in mind, what we've built in is that behind the waiting area for patients, we have a seminar and training room. This would provide video and audio links to the endoscopy training rooms so that we can run basic skills courses. Adjacent to the endoscopy rooms, we have the training office, and which is also basically a consultant base. So if they were needed to provide assistance or support or advice in any of the endoscopy rooms, they're on site very much so and on hand. A unit manager's office, which unfortunately by an error in the draftsmanship seems to be much bigger than the training office, and has lovely views of rolling countryside, is where Alison will be. Final bit,
this
staff.
is Alison, sorry. Alison, say hi to New Zealand.
Hello, New Zealand.
And then and the final thing, of course, is how do we look after our staff? So with this in mind, with our key cards, we have access to the clinical areas, but also dedicated access into a staff area. So we've got a staff room with microwave and so on, with a window, and then we've got male and female separate changing with shower facilities, changing facilities, and loos, and we're keeping that separate so that we keep the smell of food out of the waiting area for patients. And that's what we would like. We're keeping our fingers crossed. But in terms of capacity, we're 2 rooms at the minute. This would go to 4. So there'd be a big significant increase. But what we would basically aim to do is use this site essentially mainly for a lot of training.
So John, can you just say hi and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm John Silcock. I'm clinical lead for endoscopy, but also clinical director for bowel cancer screening and training lead, and consultant endoscopist. And hopefully the proud worker within this facility.
Okay. Thanks, John, for
sharing
that.
Yes.
That's it's going to be very helpful to us.